Have you ever thought about how making money might be affecting your mind? Because a lot of us are starting to make money for the first time, which is exciting and empowering for sure. But there are some studies about coming into money that I think you should know about so that you can avoid becoming an asshole by accident. So there's actually a TED Talk given by Paul Piff, who is a professor of psychological science at UCI. It's really amazing. I'm gonna give you the highlights because let's be real, I don't think that your attention span has the range right now. But seriously, go watch the full talk later. The details of the studies he shares are hilarious and depressing, but don't worry, I will save some good news for the end. Okay, so in one of his studies, Paul's team set up a crosswalk experiment in California, where, mind you, it is literally the law to stop for a pedestrian crossing the road. And they found that the more expensive the car, the more likely the driver was to break the law. None of the drivers in the cheapest car category ignored the pedestrian. Nearly 50% of the drivers in the most expensive cars just didn't stop. Now, maybe these drivers weren't being assholes. Maybe they thought, I can afford the ticket, or I really didn't think I was gonna hit that person. But these next studies are pretty bad. So in another study, participants were explicitly told that a jar of candy was reserved for children in a nearby lab. And guess who took the most candy? Participants who reported feeling rich grabbed twice as much candy as the participants who felt poor. I'm not saying that making money makes you steal from kids. Actually, that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, here's another one. Participants were given $10 and told they could keep it or share some with an anonymous stranger. The results showed that participants making $25,000 a year or less gave away nearly 44% more than participants making $150,000 or more. And it doesn't stop there. Piff's research shows that wealthier folks are also more likely to lie in negotiations, accept bribes, and endorse unethical behavior at work. Now, I realize that all of this sounds pretty bad, but here's the good news. These behaviors are not fixed. In fact, Piff's team found that small interventions, like showing a 46-second video about childhood poverty, could completely change the way wealthy participants behaved. After watching the video, these participants became just as generous and as empathetic as their less wealthy counterparts. It's proof that compassion is teachable, and that's exactly the hope that we need. So what do we do about all of this? First, we need to stop pretending that the game isn't rigged. Second, we advocate for policies that create more fair systems. And third, we remind ourselves and each other that compassion is a muscle that we can flex every day. I wish you so much abundance and so much freedom, financially and otherwise. But I just ask you to remember that we are all a part of something much bigger. And we can create a better world together if